those air horns
I wanted an echo voice, like 200, 100. In my mind, that was what it sounded like.
Right. This is an epic number to be at.
It is.
Since podcasting since 2019, almost every week. We started, I think, every 2 weeks, and holidays.
Yeah,
holidays, mental breakdowns, those sorts of things need a little breather, but then we come back together. It's great.
I mean, we have jobs that aren't.
Oh yeah, no, we also work a lot. Yeah, exactly.
We do our best,
and we're still here.
I know.
You're still here. Whoever's listening is still here.
I remember me of Blue's Clues.
Aww.
And Steve talking to people. That was heartwarming.
Good.
You're still here.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for being you.
Gosh.
I know.
What do you
say?
I don't know what
okay. I was hoping it wasn't saying like everything you're doing is wrong and this is not working. It says something. It doesn't say that. Well, I'm gonna let you go first because I've been flying solo recently. So
you have been. Okay, so I picked a topic that came up because of being in Oregon recently. So I was trying to find kind of an Oregon-y type topic, but I've also been gone a couple weeks, which means I really wanted to do something a little grittier. So I'm doing
bring the grit.
Bring some murder to the table.
Okay. I'm so glad you did.
Yeah?
Yes.
Really?
Because I did not.
You didn't bring the murder to episode 200?
I know. We'll get to it.
Okay. So I'm going to talk about the happy face killer.
Oh.
Right. His name is Keith Hunter Jesperson. I guess I said that right. Jesperson. There's an S in there. And there was a film in 2014 called The Happy Face Killer.
I've not heard of it.
I hadn't either. So he's currently in an Oregon penitentiary serving life. So let's talk about him. He was born in 1955. You want to see his face?
Yes.
So he's a Canadian American. So I believe was
hair.
He's got good hair. I'll give him the good hair.
I'll give him that.
Okay, sure, you can do that for sure. So I found him interesting because there was actually some background around childhood and things where we've talked a lot about serial killers and we'll be like, yeah, we don't know, or there just isn't very much information, maybe just because of how long ago it was or how isolated they were. He actually has quite a bit of information. So
we're going to be able to talk about
psychological hacks.
Why? Because that's what I'm always interested in.
Right.
How do people get to that point?
So just a brief overview, this was during the early 1990s that they found confirmed 8 women that he killed.
In Oregon.
This was, I believe, a mix of Washington and Oregon. But so that being said, he claims to have killed 160.
Oh.
But only 8 have been found. And I think the charges are only around those 8. And we'll talk about maybe for the why you might say that in our analysis. Okay.
Break it down.
So many of the victims were sex workers or transient women, no connection to him. Which again kind of goes away from that mass murder, you made me angry, so I'm going to kill people. It's connected.
Often it's convenient, unfortunately.
Strangulation was his preferred method of murdering. And it's the same method he often used to kill animals as a child.
Oh,
right there. That's
but didn't you debunk the trifecta in a different podcast topic?
The trifecta being, so not saying that those aren't risk factors potentially, but it's the trifecta meaning if you have these things together, that somehow means you're more statistically likely.
And that's not true.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, each on their own is still
each on their own are considered considerations for, let's say, childhood trauma and neglect, which for some, and a very small percentage, could lead to potentially harming others. Right. But having those things doesn't mean you will be a murderer.
Okay. I still can't let it go though.
I know.
I still perk up. I'm like, we got one.
We got one. 2 left.
Probably not the way to go.
So his first victim was Tanya Bennett. Her body was found, but there was a ton of media attention because Laverne, there was this woman who falsely confessed to have killed her, saying that her boyfriend was abusive and he asked her to like help. I don't know. For whatever reason, this lady was like, I killed her, which took the spotlight off of the serial killer, or not yet, the first killer, first kill of the killer. And he reported being upset that he didn't get any media attention. So he drew a smiley face on a bathroom wall hundreds of miles away from the scene and wrote an anonymous letter confessing to the murder, providing proof. He didn't even get a response. Which I thought was hilarious. Like,
he's trying to brand himself and nobody cares.
Nobody cared. And that's where I want to start this story, is nobody cares. And this could have been solved day one, I think. Like, here, this first murder, if people cared.
Did people not care because it was a sex worker? And
I think that
people think they're throwaway people in society.
I think that, and there was already someone they already had someone. They had their perpetrator, this other woman, and how scandalous is that?
I can imagine this guy getting really mad.
Right. So
that escalated things probably.
So a bit, because ultimately then what happens was he then started writing just letters to media and authorities until finally they started like getting interested. Right. I want to know how many letters. They didn't tell me that. Like, how many times did it take?
Other serial killers, I mean, this isn't the first time.
I know, we've talked about
the Zodiac Killer, BTK.
Like,
I think they
murder people. Like, is it a cry for help?
They'd like write the newspapers.
Cry to be seen. I'm gonna murder until you stop me.
Attention.
So,
and they want to create a game. So if nobody's playing their game, they need to.
Then what's the point?
Yeah.
And his very last victim is ultimately what got him captured. So we'll talk about that. But he's in life. He is serving life without parole. Okay, let's talk early childhood for Jesperson. Okay, they were born in British Columbia, Canada. He was the middle child with two brothers and two sisters. That's it right there. Middle child.
The Jan syndrome.
Yeah. Quadfecta. His father was a domineering alcoholic. Again, a pattern we've talked about. The domineering part, I think, is, probably means abusive.
Probably.
I don't know what domineering otherwise would mean in this context.
At least emotionally abusive.
Right. Okay.
At a minimum.
At a minimum. His paternal grandfather was prone to violence. His father denied being an abusive parent. However, investigation, Jack Olson, an author, did his own investigation, and he said he was able to confirm some of the claims of abuse from other family members. So he was treated like an outcast and a black sheep by his own family. He was teased by kids.
Why was that?
Because they said he had a large size for his age.
Like tall or like wide or?
I mean, like when you looked at his picture, like I'm wondering if it was just maybe
baby fat or something.
I don't know, because they just said large for his age, for his young age.
So you shunned somebody for that?
I guess everybody did.
Wow, well, that's making me think more wide than tall.
Maybe I agree. Yeah.
Because there was that, stigma in society.
He was reported being a lonely child, so probably like not many friends. He did start killing and torturing animals at a young age. So he moved from Canada then to Selah, Washington. I think that's how you said it. He had trouble fitting in, making friends because of, again, quote, his large size.
I don't understand that.
I don't understand either.
Is it?
I wonder if I can find a yearbook photo.
Is it like fat stigma?
I don't know. Large size bothers me. But just the verbiage. I'm gonna look into
what was that book? my gosh. Oh, it was, remember Willy Wonka? That when it got
Oh,
revised, they took out all the words fat. And I think they
right.
replaced it with large size. But that really is nondescript.
It's
It really
nondescript,
doesn't give
and
you a
it's-
picture.
And it's confusing about the intent. Like, okay, large size.
Right. Because that would give us information. If it's because he's overweight, like, okay, this is probably that stigma that's in society. Like, it makes sense.
Okay. So does this help? His brother would nicknamed him Igor from Frankenstein.
That doesn't help.
But that means he's like hunched over and like.
But that, what is a large hump?
But like to me, that's not like. But I didn't see. I don't know.
Does he have? Is he like hunch?
They said it
Does he have
stuck throughout school
scoliosis?
years.
Scoliosis.
It said he was shy, played by himself.
You know, people are calling him Igor.
He would get in trouble, or Ig for short. He would often get in trouble for behaving badly, sometimes violently. He would be severely punished by his father for this.
Okay. So I'm feeling like there's also physical abuse probably there.
Well, according to him, he did say that there was beatings, sometimes with the belt in front of other people, and in one case
Shameful then.
he received an electric shock.
What?
Once. Yeah.
Like how? We don't know.
I don't know. My mom had me touch an electric horse once as a joke, so maybe
What does that feel like?
I might list that off at some point in a future book.
What does it feel like?
I fell backwards to the ground.
Oh, it's super powerful then.
Well, it's meant to keep a horse inside. I'm
not
not a horse.
I didn't know if it was like, is it a zap or is it like? Ah!
I mean, it's a very shocking, and like it kind of makes you like almost hold tighter, which makes it worse.
Oh.
So you have to like
Because you
yeah.
get stuck to it.
I mean, not like it's not like Jurassic Park level.
Okay.
Maybe like a tenth of Jurassic Park. Like I didn't fly back with my hair go.
Do you think it's an urban legend that if you pee on an electric fence, you get electrocuted? Like the electric
Well, it goes
signal
with water.
go up the stream.
I feel like
into
where's
your
Sarah?
wing and-
Where's Sarah? Sarah could be looking this up for us.
Sarah.
I don't.
Our looker upper has abandoned us.
I don't know. That feels important to know. It's like
It does.
when you grow up, you learn a lot about like how to not die in quicksand. And I feel like that's never become useful to me in my adult life.
No.
That and like stop, drop, and roll hasn't either. For some people, it does. Just
I have never
clarify.
encountered quicksand.
Me neither.
Ever.
Me neither.
And I have never been on fire.
Me neither. Like whole body on fire, stop,
No.
drop, roll, where they like, and I practiced that in elementary school.
Everybody did.
With everybody.
Because it was just expected that you'd burst into flames at some point in your
I
life.
know. I was
It was
scared. I
prioritized.
was scared about it. That and quicksand. Quicksand is scary. I'm like, okay, so you hold still. Like, at what rate do you still continue to sink? Can you read? Like,
Yeah, you don't want to struggle.
no.
That was the take home.
Because
Don't struggle.
Because it starts to fill in the void. And so I went, oh, maybe I have experienced this. So
Quicksand?
quick mud.
Oh.
So on the on the coast, there's like a beach, and I've gone like oyster and clam digging. But when the tide goes out, some of the areas are really like muddy, and my boot went in once, and like the suction, when you pull, my boot like pulled
Your
off.
foot came out and your boot stayed.
Right, because it went up to like mid calf to a scary level of I don't want to be stuck here.
Did you struggle? Did you panic?
Yeah. I
So
did.
all
I did.
that
Because the
lesson
water
learning didn't
pours-
stick.
The water pours in, and then it creates.
It didn't work. Though.
Yeah, no, it didn't work at all. Maybe because they never said mud.
It didn't. They said sand.
Yeah,
Which in my mind is a completely different thing.
100%
It's
different.
granular.
I would never expect that mud to do what
get
the
you.
sand. Okay, all right. Tangential.
It's a solid distraction for kids to like distract them from what's really important.
Like, I know, but I feel like I should have learned how to write a check better than I did learn how to stop, drop, and roll. Or like how to fill out an application for a job.
I have singed my hair, but that didn't require
I burnt
rolling.
I burnt my bangs at
Yeah, that's what I did. Like, you know, it's like smoking weed in the wind in high school. It was that.
And I was thinking like, nope.
I might have even done an eyebrow a little bit at that point.
Ooh, That could be a look, though. That could be a look. All right. Okay, here we go. So that desire of strangulation, which he did to animals, it was as young as 5 years old is when he started to capture animals and torture them.
Do you think it's because he was being abused? So it's like, okay, now I need to kind of reenact this on a vulnerable victim, or
maybe like on a more subconscious level. I mean, like a 5-year-old, that's pretty young.
No, definitely subconscious.
Because like he said, he reported enjoying watching other animals kill each other too, like if they're fighting, which I haven't heard that before.
Interesting.
So
there's already an early fascination with death in a violent way.
Either watching it happen or making it happen. He'd capture birds, stray cats, and dogs around the trailer park where he lived with his family. He would severely beat them and then strangle them to death. He claimed that his father was proud of him for that.
Oh,
which my mind goes to like, maybe they're like a nuisance in the area and the dad's like, oh yeah, get rid of that. Yeah, like I could see
like
maybe
those feral cats, or
like they're just pests, or they smell.
Raccoons,
flea ridden.
Like your new wallet. Macy got a cool raccoon wallet.
He did not catch a raccoon. Just that would be a whole feat, I'm sure. Could you imagine?
You get bit for sure.
You get bit. Yep.
Don't fuck with raccoons.
No. They're scary. What noise does a raccoon make? Oh, I missed you. Okay. In the years following that, he said he often thought about what it would be like to do the same thing to humans.
Okay.
So from a young age.
Yeah, wow. Interesting.
This desire.
That's a really young age.
I know. So that desire turned into 2 attempted murders. The first happened when he was at age 10.
What?
He was friends with a boy named Martin. The two would get in trouble together. He claimed he was often punished many times for things that Martin had done and shifted the blame to him.
Martin's gotta go.
So this led to him violently attacking Martin till his father pulled him away. He later claimed his intention was to kill him.
Oh, there's witnesses.
Okay,
well, was probably a learning experience for him, but not in like, I want to do better, but okay, this is how I get away with it.
Well, and at a certain point too, it's like, I want to kill him. People say those things, but don't often mean it.
Right.
Like, what did you just like jumped on and hitting him? Or
I mean, if I had actually killed everyone I've said I want to kill them, the
world would be a lesser place.
There'd be less population and I would be in prison.
But the environmental
impact would be less footprints.
Would be great. Yeah, I mean, less cars on the road, right? That's what everyone wants. Better air in California, maybe. Okay.
The purge idea is too far off base, to be honest.
I mean, that's kind of.
It's a fascinating idea.
That's kind of what happened during COVID.
It's sort of
a lot of people died.
It wasn't
very sad.
It wasn't as much fun. Like the purge is like an event.
I mean,
have you seen the movies?
Have you seen pharmaceutical companies? They seem like they had a blast during COVID. So
and continue, I think.
Oh yeah, I still hear Moderna commercials on the radio. If anyone listens to the radio.
Well, this is a tie into my topic. So
great, good. Okay, let's see here. A year later, he was swimming in a lake, and another boy held him underwater until he blacked out. Not okay. What? Also attempted murder. So later, while in public school with him, he then attempted to drown that same boy by holding his head under the water until a lifeguard pulled him out. So it happened to him, and then he did it.
And I feel like I don't even want to pathologize that incident, because that could be any kid, any day. Like, you try to drown me, I'm gonna try to drown you.
No, and that's how I kind of felt about the first one too. It's like, okay, well, saying that you're going to kill someone and like being pulled off by your parent.
Yeah, it's like a fight.
Yeah, like was there a knife? Were you strangling him? Like what level?
Was there stabbing?
If you try to drown me, then it's fair game at that point. Like I know, and if you're in water near me, it's just you or me.
It's them's the rules.
Them's the rules. We do not condone violence of any kind, nor do anything or say anything that we
have a disclaimer now. We're covered.
Oh, it's on the thing? Okay. Yeah. We just talk.
We're just shooting the shit.
It's fine. Okay. So okay, so several years after that, so around 14 years old, he reported that he was raped. He graduated high school in 1973. He didn't attend college because his father didn't believe he could do it.
This dad.
Although Jesperson was not successful with girls in high school.
He reported he was raped, though?
Yes, and that was just like kind of brushed over. So I don't know.
I mean, for a teenage boy to report that, like, right. That's pretty significant, I think.
At the age of 14, too. That's like, barely freshman year.
Right. I mean, I feel like that was a cry for help, maybe.
Maybe.
Missed opportunity.
Well, and with the girl, like, it's interesting too that he still struggled in high school with girls at all. He didn't go
to
school dances or proms. But he did get a relationship.
Got in the way socially.
In 1975.
Teenagers are judgy.
He was 20 in his first relationship.
Well, glad he got some.
And he married Rose Huck, and the couple had 3 kids.
Okay.
Right. Shabam. 2 daughters, 1 son. He worked as a truck driver to support the family.
Okay, gotta like being alone.
Yeah, very isolated.
Very. I've always said I have the soul of a long haul truck driver.
I could see that. I saw some totally interesting truck drivers on my drive back from Oregon. Like, there's some interesting truck stops.
I understand the language of truck drivers too. Like, I can.
Yeah, you get the lingo.
We're together as one with our headlight flashing and our lane changing.
There was this one truck driver that was like late at a truck stop and kind of I mean disheveled look, I'll say. Probably was going to use one of the showers there.
Or not.
I'm just saying. And he had this little tiny puppy, like a little teacup baby puppy chihuahua under his arm of this big trucker guy that looked super disheveled and grumpy. And the lady behind the counter is like, oh, I was talking to the puppy. And he just kept saying, no. And this lady wouldn't stop like talking about the puppy. I'm like, he's clearly going to hurt you if you keep it up. It was very interesting. Yeah.
And truck stops are some of my favorite places in the entire world. Oddly enough. Because you can get anything there. Right. Anything.
No, that's true. I bought a car phone holder that is amazingly, and it's made for truckers because it goes up and it turns and it's like, I'm like, why don't they sell this in stores?
No, you have to go to the truck stop.
You do. It was amazing. And it was fairly cheap.
No, I walk into there and like, oh, the angels start singing, like the lights come on.
Bean and cheese burritos.
And you could get clothing, you can get a shower, any kind of weird tech they can't get in a normal store, like you said. You can get like a seat cover warmer, like a butt massager warmer.
Right. These are things that everybody needs in their life. But most people.
But you have to like go to these magical places.
Right. And sometimes use the bathroom.
One day if I just completely disappears because I've become a truck driver.
Okay, that's not what I'll assume. I'll assume that you were taken by a truck driver. Because you have a bad habit of putting yourself in bad situations.
And when I used to hitchhike as a teenager, I did spend an uncomfortable amount of time in a semi-truck.
I don't think I've ever been in a semi truck. I feel like that's a life achievement, really, at my age.
No, it was really awkward because I'm like, okay, this guy may murder me, may rape me, I don't know.
Probably one of the two.
So
plans.
I did like get out, but I was there for a long
Quickly,
time.
in a hurry.
Well,
Being
you know,
chased,
a couple of hours down the road when there was an
a little further
opportunity.
down.
When there was a stop and an opportunity, I did get out.
Was he like looking at you? Like,
No, it was just really weird. It was one of those ones that have like the whole bed in the back.
yeah, no.
And we stopped.
No.
Because I'm just like getting from A to B. Like there was no reason to stop.
To be fair, they have to sleep.
Yeah, but right in the middle of my journey? No.
I mean,
So
you
I
don't
started-
have to sleep in it.
And I was just like, what is going on? Like, are we leaving? Like, what's happening? And I kind of had the feeling like, oh, he wanted me to get back in the bed with him, but I'm like, wasn't about that.
No, don't do that.
And so I just sat and I'm like, I need to go. So I did get out, and thankfully the doors were locked. So I did have that moment. I'm like, what if I can't get out?
I mean, I think
So I did get out.
They make most car doors where you can manually unlock it. I think for that reason.
Yeah, but if this was like a serious, killer or rapist, they might have like
Oh yeah, like
rigged them
where you take the little knob off
where you
the
can't
popper.
get out. So I did have that moment when I'm like, I'm just gonna get out. So I was
like, but
what
don't
if I
tell
can't
him
get
ahead
out?
of time so you can like.
No, I didn't, because he was like back in the bed. I'm like, this is weird. I mean,
yeah, of course he thought you were going back there.
I have somewhere to be.
He's
so
like,
I
you owe me, which you're lucky you weren't murdered. Okay.
I have so many experiences like that. Wait for my book.
Believe that. I can't wait. Is it done yet? No.
No.
5 years from now, I'll get to read the book.
It's a slow process.
Adventures.
Because I have to like do a whole psychological thing where I put myself back in that place.
Yeah.
So I can't just like, oh, pop on, do 10 minutes. I have to like immerse myself for hours.
I sometimes I'll remember like a period of my life, even like a couple years, I'm like, it doesn't even feel real. Like it was so long ago. And that was such a like me in a weird different place.
Yeah, and I have to put myself in there. I can't be like looking back. I have to be like in it.
Looks like half the time I'm like, would never put myself in that position or in that whatever now. Yet maybe perhaps I don't know.
I feel like I haven't changed as much as I'd like to think I have.
Right. His wife said she began to suspect he was having an affair with because strange women would start calling.
Wait, why are they calling?
Right, they were calling. I don't know. There was tension in the marriage. After 14 years they were together. He was on the road. She packed up her stuff and her kids and drove 200 miles away to live with her parents in
Oregon?
Spokane, Washington. What? The oldest child, Melissa, was 10. And he continued to spend time with his children when he was in town, and the couple divorced in 1990. So he came to Spokane frequently.
Oh my God. In the 90s?
Yeah, that was 90. They got divorced in 1990. So, yeah.
I'm going to look at his face again. Do I know him?
Was he the truck driver that you rode? Oh, we'll circle back. Okay. So at age 35, he was 6 feet tall.
Large?
That's 6'7", 6'7" inches.
6'7"? That's really tall.
And
that's like can look over your fence tall.
I don't like people looking over. And he weighed approximately 255 pounds.
Okay, so he's large and tall.
Large and tall. At
like
35,
wide and
35. So, he joined the Royal Canadian Mounted Police.
Oh wow! Like on Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Right. But he had an injury he suffered while training, and that ended. So then he started working as a truck driver again, and he relocated to
Spokane, Washington?
Cheney, Washington.
What?
Right up the road, right? I know.
What year was this?
Do
we know him?
Oh God, I
like in the 90s?
This would have been
early 90s.
So he was, early 90s.
Oh, shit.
He sought work again. Oh, I already said okay. So he realized that his job afforded him the opportunity to kill without being suspected. So Here is, so 1993 is this is the facial reconstruction of the unidentified woman found, who he stated was named Carla or Cindy. He couldn't remember. She was identified as a 45-year-old Patricia Skipple in 2022. Like, that was recent. They just recently ID'd her.
And where is she from? Like here? Like cheating?
So that was near Portland, because he was able to drive far away.
So is he like, this really works out for me?
Right. So Tanya Bennett was near Portland. He introduced himself to her at a bar, invited her to a house he was renting. He got in an argument with her, and he strangled her to death with his hands and disposed of her body. I wonder what that fight was about.
I don't know.
Maybe about her not being strangled.
But the wife got out though. I feel like that's gone. Kind of different than some of these cases where the wife has no idea, or maybe sort of somehow thinks something's going on but stays.
She felt like there was cheating happening, which there was. It sounds like there really was cheating happening too.
Well, he's probably like
on the road
paying for sex work all over the place. And like, he's like, this is my this is my opportunity because I'm on the road, I'm in and out, like they're not gonna be able to track me.
So that the woman I showed you the picture of, that was in 1992, so a year before. That one was found in Blythe, California.
Never heard of it.
Okay.
It's a small town.
So a month later in Turlock, California. Do you know Turlock?
Never heard of it.
Me neither.
Must be a small town.
That's where the body was found. So he claims that she was a sex worker who entered his truck at a truck stop while he slept.
Why does it sound like exactly what I just said? How many times have I said I should be dead or in prison? It's not a lot. I'm not exaggerating. It's actually true.
You're not. His fourth victim was another sex worker named Lori Ann Pentland of Salem, Oregon, who was found in November of 1992. And he said that she attempted to double the fee that she charged for the sex he had been having with her.
So he's just blaming at this point.
She threatened to call the police, and then he strangled her.
I mean, I don't really believe what he's saying at this point.
I believe that she probably threatened to call the police, and I believe that
because he was being creepy.
And then I believe that he strangled her because
I believe that. Yeah. I don't believe like his stories of like, oh, they just got in my truck, or
they were
trying to screw me over on.
Trust me, nobody just sneaks into somebody's sleeping bed in the truck.
No, nobody does that.
It's not taught to us like quicksand.
Also, it's probably locked. Like you probably lock your cab. I imagine. Probably. If you're sleeping in there,
you might.
You're not going to just leave it unlocked at the truck stop. That seems really stupid.
Correct. Yeah. 1993 killed his next victim in Santanella, California.
Again, never.
Me neither. She was previously unidentified as Patricia Skipple.
So I'm thinking he's intentionally going to these lesser known towns.
So that body that was found in Crespi, Florida.
He drove all the way across the country?
Right, with her body in the truck.
Well, maybe he hadn't killed her yet.
Maybe
he was like,
yeah, that's a good point.
You're gonna be my companion, I'll pay you.
But they originally thought it was a drug overdose, which again goes back to that maybe police not doing a fully good job because she was a sex worker and just assumed drugs.
We see this over and over. It's a travesty. People are people.
It's pretty easy to tell if someone's been strangled because of bruising, collapsed tracheas. Like it's very vulnerable.
Makes sense.
So that obviously was wrong. And again, who's wrong? Her name was not Carla or Cindy, it was Suzanne, just to be clear.
Well, the ladies may have also given false names.
Ooh, fair point.
Because a lot of sex workers don't use their real name.
That makes sense.
They're going to come up with a more.
You might have gone through her wallet
names,
if she had a wallet on her, which she might not have actually, because that would make sense to not, in case she got picked up for something. It seems like there's
You
lines to it. I feel like that's a future podcast topic.
I think you would not keep much of value on you.
Probably not. Yeah. That's like when when I there's certain places I'll go into and I'm like, I'm gonna keep this in the glove box of my car. Yeah. Do I need my whole wallet? Probably not. No,
Probably not.
I'm just taking my ID and one card I can cancel if I get
Exactly. I want my chapstick and my debit card. And that's it.
Yeah, I need my credit cards in case later. Okay, so he was arrested in 1995 for the murder of Julie Winningham. He had been questioned by police a week before, but they had no grounds to arrest him after he refused to talk. In the days following, he decided that he was certainly going to be arrested, and after 2 suicide attempts, turned himself in, hoping he'd get like leniency.
Okay. Why that one? Like, was there just like evidence and there wasn't any other cases?
That one, yeah, I believe it was, actually, I think let me see, I might get to that because I think I've had it down below. So while in custody, he started talking about the killings though, and claimed a ton of others, which they never found. Mm-hmm. He later took back some of those.
Oh yeah, you said at the beginning that he claimed over 100 people.
Yeah, I think it's 160, but I think it was close to 180 that he claimed.
Wow.
So, but a few days before his arrest, he had written a letter to his brother where he confessed to killing 8 people over the course of 5 years. So they kind of leaned into that, reopened old cases. There are a lot of old cases that look like they could be possible victims, but there isn't enough evidence to know. So only 8 women were killed in Washington, Oregon, California, Florida, Nebraska, and Wyoming. Those were all the states where they lived, were confirmed. He is serving 3 consecutive life sentences. In September of 2009, he was indicted in Riverside County, California on murder charges. He was extradited in 2009. He was convicted of another murder and received a 4th life sentence in January of 2010.
Do you know anything about any of the women?
Well, so just to kind of back up on the timeline, remember the woman who claimed to have murdered the first one?
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of was looking at why that, first of all. So she saw it in the news. And she was in a very abusive relationship, and she saw it as an opportunity to end the relationship by giving a false confession and saying that her abusive boyfriend forced her to help him rape, murder, and dispose of her body. So it was a completely unrelated, but here's a chance to escape and have him. Yeah. And they were both arrested in 1990. They both were convicted, and to avoid the death penalty, she pled no contest. He was sentenced to life in prison, and she was sentenced to no less than 10 years. But then the entire story, she said later, was made up. Her claims were ignored, and it took 5 years after the conviction for them to be released from prison.
Interesting.
Right. Which, was it worth it?
Yeah. 5 years in prison, that doesn't sound fun.
No. So they were released from prison after Jesperson and his attorney offered his confession, and evidence of his guilt. He had given police officers the location of the victim's purse. The purse had not been found at the crime scene, and its location was considered information only the killer would know. And then that got them released. Could you imagine you're a scorned ex throwing you under the bus? He had nothing to do. Okay. Abusive.
Yeah.
But still, he had no idea, and all of a sudden he's blamed for a murder.
No, it's scary what people can say about you, and Innocent until proven guilty is not a real thing.
No, that doesn't. Every story we've done, that has never been the case
yeah.
at all. No one's ever been innocent first.
Everybody is guilty, and even if they are proven innocent, they're still sometimes guilty for the rest of their lives. It's fucked up. Anybody can say anything about anybody.
Like that, the one that you did, the axe. No, this one I did.
That's what happens when you've got 200 episodes.
And almost finished my wine after my topic. The one that you just did, the serial where they blamed her, all of the kids that she killed of her children.
Oh, yeah.
And like there's a husband involved the whole time, but like no one's.
That's right. The Munchausen case, which I don't think it actually was Munchausen.
No.
After we dissected it, I think it was something else.
So he's called the happy face killer. All of those things he sent to the media, he put a happy face on the end. So
what's that about?
Kind of it was just his way of getting attention because he did it on the bathroom thing, so he had to like link it together.
But like in his mind, he's choosing that.
He didn't say the happy face killer. The media did.
But why a happy face though? Because he wasn't happy.
Right, maybe that's why this made him happy.
Oh, now I'm happy.
Maybe. Okay. I mean, I'm not him. I didn't do it.
I'm trying to get in his head.
I feel like there's a very like sad, lonely. He's obviously like maybe physically made fun of.
Yeah.
Isolated. His dad was abusive. I'm wondering if that report of being of the sexual abuse, had that been an ongoing thing? Was it family? We don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah. Because what we know with like harming animals and stuff, that's not typically something that would just someone's born and they have an urge to kill animals that way. It's typically neglect, trauma, sexual abuse, things like that. So his daughters, one of his daughters actually in 2008 was on Dr. Phil.
Oh.
Yeah, my nemesis. He was a topic, I believe.
He was a topic. That was your topic.
Yeah, I hate him. She also went on she also went on the Oprah Winfrey show. And then she was on the network series Monsters in My Family, on the 2020 special and Crime Watch Daily. So she like very.
Can you imagine if her parent was a serial killer? How that would impact you?
Pretty badly. I'm sure.
I don't know if I'd go on the talk show circuit about it, but I would be impacted.
She also published a book called Shattered Silence, but it doesn't sound like she was too silent. It seems like she probably made some money off this too.
Seems like she was pretty vocal.
And in the 1990s, her parents got divorced. She noticed her father was different. She reported when she was in elementary school. Their house bordered an apple orchard. And she said that he killed stray cats and gophers that wandered nearby. One day she watched horrified as he hung stray kittens from a family clothesline.
What?
She ran to her mother, and when they got back, the kittens were on the ground dead, and he watched and laughed as the kittens clawed each other to escape, and then he killed them. In March 2018, she was featured in an episode title called Put on a Happy Face, another docuseries. How Stuff Works. She went on there to a podcast episode called Happy Face. And then she was on an iTunes in 2021 for a true crime thing called Life After Happy Face. So like she's all over the place for
maybe it's therapeutic for her to talk about it.
But like there were other kids. I just wanted to say, right?
There were two others.
Yeah.
Actually.
So
if you want my math skills.
I do because I forgot. So the Happy Face Killer, there's a film out. There's a lot of things that you can go watch and get kind of more of the family type perspective. But that is a Happy Face Killer with truck bed stories that relate to your life somehow.
I'm disturbed by the connections to
your personal,
not just me personally, but like he was like here in our town,
right? And like lived in Cheney, that's like right outside of Airman Heights there. Well, he'd be driving till people. It didn't say they killed anyone from Spokane. It was all
But we don't know. He said he killed a whole bunch of people.
I know, but I'm part of me because
And
of
that
like
timeline directly overlaps with fucking Robert Yates.
it does. Well, most of the serial killers in the 90s and a lot of the West Side folks came to Spokane.
The Green River Killer.
I think I said on the Green River Killer one, like people are born on the West, serial killers are born on the West Coast. They come to live in Spokane.
Because we have great housing prices, or we used to. Not anymore.
It's still better than the West Coast, considered like comparably.
So I think when people, confess to stuff, we do have to sort of listen,
Well, and like, why don't we?
I mean, I do, but I'm not, a detective.
I mean, neither are they really then.
Oh my God. Right.
Is that not a clue? Did we not talk about Blue's Clues? Like
Blue's Clues, you gotta look at the clues. You gotta
everything.
You gotta throw your biases out the door.
Well,
you gotta look at the empirical fucking evidence.
So, well, and I think that one of the things that is a disservice based on our system is the whole case file concept of open and closed.
Well, and people get a lot of accolades when they close a case too.
Right.
So are they too eager at times
to close it or solve it? But it's also like just the concept of close means we're done.
Yeah.
But it's not done if it's not solved.
Right.
It's never done unless it's solved.
100%.
So any new information, they're never going to look at it because it's not an open case.
No, it takes a lot to reopen a case.
What does
a family has to really?
I have to look at this now.
Provide.
What does it take to open a case?
Well, you have to really provide like good evidence that
it was called a cold case.
It needs to be reopened.
Like a cold case is like a dead case. That's dark. They use that all the time.
Right, but cold cases aren't closed necessarily. They just may not be.
Is a closed.
They may be like just not actively being looked into because there isn't any new information.
One avenue for reopening a case is the emergence of new and significant evidence that was not available during the original proceedings. This evidence must have the potential to substantially alter an outcome of a case.
Yeah, you have to go to court and present your new evidence to get a case reopened.
Nobody wants to go to court, and you'd have to be considered what's it called, like a good witness, or like not a good witness, but
you have to have good evidence.
Well, like if you were one of the sex workers that slept with him during that time and he threatened you, would your statement have just as much weight?
I don't know if it's just a statement. I think there'd have to be like more to it. Unfortunately, eyewitness.
Oh my gosh, there's like a U.S. court open. There's like a whole thing. Reopen a closed case, motion filing. There's a fee. You have to pay a fee?
Yeah, how much is the fee?
Okay, so to file a notice of motion for order without a hearing, money. They don't say, they just say the fee.
I mean, why should that cost money when you think about it?
I know, like these poor families, like haven't they already?
They've suffered enough.
Filing fees, I'm gonna find this.
Abbreviated
fee schedule. Holy shite. Okay. So there's different chapters like of legal things to reopen.
Like an average.
Apparently, if you're a family farmer, it's $278.
Wait, if you're a family farmer?
I have no idea. That's the parentheses around it. If it's a chapter 11, it's $1,738 to reopen a case. If it's a chapter 7, it's $338. If it's those are new petitions. A case reopening.
What if it's murder?
Is $1,167
for murder.
I mean, if it's 3 of the 5 chapters that are listed here, then yes. I don't know what these chapters mean. Yeah, there you go.
I think if you present the evidence, I guess
Mm-hmm.
nothing's free anymore.
Or ever. An appeal is $298.
Do you want to?
Well, there you go. Everything that like I'm honestly like everything like, hey, I need records of what was sent by the attorney from the other people.
No, have you not ever been to court?
$64.
Everything costs
I've
money.
never been to court.
Oh my God.
I've never been to court.
I've spent my entire life savings twice in my life.
Search of court records, $32.
Once when my dog was sick, I spent my entire life savings.
Oh, I almost did that too. I did that.
I did. I spent everything. And the other time was helping Skylar go to court to get a parenting plan in place. Everything costs money. Every text to the attorney,
every little thing,
every email, every
So
phone
gross.
call, everything filed, everything is billed by the fucking hour.
So a closed case means that the case will not go to court. So this happens in cases where the prosecution service does not believe they have the evidence required to obtain a conviction. In some situations, you'll be able to claim compensation if you're not formally charged. So if you get sent to court and you pay those fees and you're not actually charged, you could get that money back. Just saying.
I've never seen anyone
I just
get any
learned-
money back.
I just learned that. Well, if you're convicted by, or if someone else tries to, force you into court and they don't have evidence and you pay court fees.
Yeah, I've not experienced that happening.
Did you try through this process?
There was all in writing, like,
hey, no. Did you fill out the form?
If it's that probably costs more money.
Oh yeah, no, there's a $32 form to get your.
I mean, it's at some point you just back away and you're like, fuck it.
Done.
Yeah. So I knew this was our 200th episode. I knew that.
This is a strong can of wine.
I knew that. This is our classic Rainbow Pride house wine. We've drank this forever.
Vetted is an actual supporter of LGBT.
Yes, it's legit.
Round,
good job, house wine.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, wow, I want to do something really cool. Maybe like a murder or something.
Like a truck stop happy face killer murder.
Something. But you want to know what I landed on?
I do, actually. I'm pretty sure you're gonna tell me.
Still phone's about to die. I landed.
I can't wait to find out where you landed.
Having an issue with the court.
Oh, you mean the fact that you wrapped your cable leg? You see, it's like wrap.
Like, what?
I'm having an issue with the cable cord. Okay. I see you put me next to the I instantly had a I forgot it existed behind me this whole time.
I landed on having a discussion with you.
Good.
About the sense of smell.
I'm excited about that. I just recently talked about cilantro and how there's like a genetic thing that people taste soap with cilantro.
I know, that's weird. I love cilantro. I eat it like salad.
Cilantro, yeah.
Okay. So have you ever had a smell instantly bring back a memory?
Yes.
Do you want to share or no?
No, because I've had wine. I don't remember.
Okay.
But I know that I have.
I have not had that experience, to be honest.
And let me rephrase. Not like a full-on flashback. Not like that.
But this is common with people.
I would say more like for whatever reason, I feel a feeling when I smell something that takes me back.
Okay. That's gonna get into what I want to talk about.
Cool.
Yeah, but that's really people report smelling things and instantly having a memory. I don't have that. But
I can't eat
most
goat
people
cheese
do.
without thinking of 4-H and the goat barn.
Okay.
There's that.
I mean I think that's in line with what we're talking about.
Okay, yeah. Makes me gag a little.
So smell and memory, we were just talking about, they're closely connected in the brain because of the way the brain's anatomy is.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we have more than 5 senses, but let's just talk about the basic 5. Our sense of smell.
Check out our synesthesia episode.
Yes. Our sense of smell works totally different than taste, hearing, touch, and vision. So those senses, like we have sensory input from the outside world, and then it goes to the thinking part of our brain and it puzzles it out and makes meaning. Smell is totally different. It does not go to the thinking part of our brain. It goes directly to the emotion and memory center of our brain.
Okay, so my first instinct was to go to like why I like being outside, and one of the biggest things is the smell of. So I grew up out 5 acres, trees, West Coast, like that smell. And when I go outside and like people have like mowed lawns, and it's a little different in housing community type places now, but that's a time that triggers that for me because I'm like, I smell like grass. I smell fresh grass, and like
what
there's moisture.
Memory does it bring up, like being little?
No, it's not even a memory. It's just it brings up a feeling of comfort, I think, and I like it. So like I want to sit in it, even though it's it's whatever.
Interesting. So the sense of smell is totally different. It bypasses that consciousness and that like reason and meaning making, and it goes right to really emotion and memory.
Because most things, we would typically associate that with like fight or flight, the amygdala, like that big emotion center part of the brain. It goes straight there. Wow.
So what this means is we're going to be influenced and not realize it, just like all that stretching like stuff.
I guess I'm going to sit outside for 20 minutes and do nothing and have people like, what are you doing?
Exactly.
I just like it.
Exactly. That's exactly what we're talking about.
Right.
It's freaky. It's freaky AF.
Or like even maybe like if you smell like your partner's like cologne or something on a pillow, and it feels like a thing.
It feels like a thing.
But it's not a thing.
But you're going to have that experience without the involvement of your conscious meaning making.
Right. You're not going to be like, I'm going to pull this pillow over so I can think about my partner.
Right.
You just smell it and
it's instant. Comforted. It's instant. Yeah.
So if thoughts aren't involved, then like, because I often hear that, not often, I've heard that where it's like it pulls from your memories.
Yeah. And emotion.
But like memories to me are cognitive, where feelings and emotions are...
Well, it's not memory like, oh, I'm thinking about that time that I went to France.
Right.
It's more like,
but I think that's how most people think of memory.
It's more like an image,
so it's a physiological memory.
I think
the body
like a snapshot versus a story.
Okay.
It's
like a mood ring.
It's like a mood ring.
Yeah. With the smell. I don't know if that makes sense, but it does right now to me.
So of course, brands have tried to capitalize on this.
Wait, what?
Brands, like big companies.
Oh, okay.
They've tried to capitalize in this, and they want to influence our purchasing behaviors.
Those sneaky.
By creating memorable connections between the brand and us. Because it's not going to involve our like conscious brain where we're like,
just going to grab it and buy it.
Yeah. We're like, oh, I want to buy this because I really need this and it's going to enhance my life and I can afford it.
We just talked about thrift shopping and why do you need to buy? Those people at new places are manipulating you. Everything from when you walk in the store to when you leave. You did talk about that.
I did the psychology of shopping.
Right.
So here's an example of this. Companies hire researchers, scientists to create a signature scent for them. I had no idea this was happening.
For them personally?
For the brand.
Oh, okay.
So when you walk into the store, you aren't aware of it, but they're wafting this smell. So Nike, as an example, has a signature scent that was designed to smell like, what do you think?
A basketball?
A rubber basketball.
What?
As it scrapes across the court and...
Oh, so it's like that kind of burnt rubber smell.
And a soccer cleat in grass and dirt.
I do
you smell that when you go into Nike?
You said those things and I smelled it.
Right, it's powerful.
So the burnt rubbers, I like rubber, like when you go into the tire store.
You love
I
that?
love that smell. That and I love the popcorn that they serve. That's great for me.
See, that would work for you.
That works for
Like,
me.
here's Macy.
They're
Let's
like-
start pumping the popcorn and rubber scents.
They're like, okay,
You're like, I want a set of 4
are
right
you
now.
dropping your car off for the oil change or are you waiting? I'm a waiter.
I'm
I'll be
waiting.
here.
I'm
2
waiting.
hours, no problem.
No
How much
problem.
popcorn you got? Hey, I see you're getting low.
You're like,
Which in movie theaters they used to pump the popcorn smell into the theater
they
to
did.
get people to buy more.
You know.
That's
I like
so
the
nice.
smell of tar weirdly.
No, that's not a bad one. It's not my favorite, but it's not a bad one.
But when I smell it, I'm like, oh, that's a pleasant smell.
Well, and you mentioned the cleats in the dirt. Like to me, that's like that. That's
Yeah.
like the mode smell. It's like there's like a dirt, like a gosh, what would the word be? Like an earthy
Yeah.
grass smell.
So the idea is they create this connection because you're going to be smelling that. You're
As a
going to be
child.
having an emotional
Played in the
experience, and then you're going to love Nike and want to buy all their shit. So that's the idea.
I mean, that didn't happen.
And they're not the only brands.
Right.
Like other companies are
Do you
doing
know what I
this.
found out? And I hate to say this because
What?
so one buy used. I've been buying. This is a used Volcom shirt from the thrift store. These are used Vans.
Yeah, my shirt, I just got a thrift store
Vans.
on yesterday.
So I found out though, I was like researching into because I like Volcom a lot, and like at some point Gucci bought them out. So if you buy new Volcom stuff, it's actually owned by Gucci.
Gucci,
Which is-
Gucci, Louis, Fendi, Fendi, Prada. Basis bitches wear that shit, so I don't even bother.
Right. But if you
I
buy,
don't know Krishan Bear.
I don't even know that. I didn't know
It's
even
a
who
great
that
song,
was.
song.
I have no idea. No idea. So buy used, because you're probably more likely to buy things.
Well, I'm just like there's too much shit in the world.
No, legit, way too much.
So the sense of smell is the only fully developed sense a fetus has in the womb.
Ew. Ew.
It's in their smell and shit.
Ew. I don't want to smell that.
And it remains
Let
the
me know.
most developed sense we have until we're 10 years old.
Ooh, I like that.
And that's when which sense takes over?
Your sixth sense, ghosts. I saw that.
And sight,
Oh, that makes
unless
sense.
you're
You start to see things for real.
have vision issues.
Right.
So
I did until high school and I did not know it. I just eventually told my dad that, oh yeah, by the way, senior year, I told my dad, oh, by the way, in the back row of the class, I can't see the board. He's like, what do you mean? And I go in and I'm like, oh, I can't see past my hands. And I've been thriving. I got glasses and contacts. Now I have PRK so I can see things. I can see the world.
that's
They burn your eyeball. It smells horrible. It smells horrible. Have you smelled burnt eyeball?
no, I have
It
not.
stayed in my dad's car for 2 weeks. It
I've
was
smelled
awful.
rotten eyeball though.
That needs more explanation than mine does. What?
When I was in
Rotten?
elementary school, we often would take field trips to San Francisco to the Science Museum. On one of these field trips, we spent some time at the exhibit that dissected a cow eyeball. One of my classmates decided to take the eyeball after, wrap it in paper towel, and put it in his
Like you
pocket.
stole it.
I don't know.
That's called stealing.
And
It is.
at some
It is.
point,
Just so you know.
several hours later, while we were on the bus back across the bay, it started to stink of high fucking heaven.
I'm
So
sure that-
bad that the bus driver pulled over and was like, what the fuck's going on here?
There's obviously a dead body in there.
So we had eventually learned that he had and cow eyeballs are like this big. That
He got the whole.
he had the whole eyeball
Pocket.
wrapped in paper towel in his pocket, and it was
in his
rotting.
pocket.
And it was rotting.
That
So
probably wouldn't
he
even
was
rot.
forced to throw it away. He was actually upset about it, I remember.
I'd be upset too. I mean, if I put that much effort in, but it's gross.
So I know what that smells like.
Burning eyeball was weird. That was one thing that like it changed my life. I could see again. I didn't have to deal with putting contact. It was so much good, but I had never
Did it smell
before.
pleasant?
No.
Okay, it wasn't like a
No,
snack.
it was like you're smelling your own cremation, is what it felt like. And it was
Oh, that's
horrifying.
disturbing.
It's one of the few times I've ever had like a panic attack at a doctor's office. And they give you like this like pillow to hold because it's only minutes. It was like 3 minutes long.
That's an eternity.
But you see it happening. Your eyes are open and you're watching it
No,
happen
I don't
and
understand.
smelling it.
Do they like hold your eyeball open?
They put on these clamps,
Fuck
like
that shit.
orange, what candy? Orange, what's that movie?
Orange is the New Black?
No, the classic orange.
Clockwork Orange?
Thank you.
Okay.
Where they do this.
Oh yeah, no
it
thank you.
It is literally that, and you can't blink. And they it's like a laser, and they.
I'm probably good.
So PRK, difference between PRK and LASIK. LASIK, they peel up the cornea.
I don't want anything
They
in
do
my eyeball
the
peeled.
alteration, they put it back, and it heals really quick. PRK, which is what I had to do, there's no peeling up and putting back. They just burn off.
Why?
So I can see again.
But it didn't work, right?
It did. I can see.
But don't I have a squiggle?
What?
You said you had a squiggle.
Are you talking about the little dots?
Yeah.
I actually haven't had those in a while. I'm wondering if they just kind of went away over time.
Okay.
But it was a few years ago that I had a couple of black dots that on a white wall or something I'd see kind of float. Little floaties. Yeah. I got paranoid though that I couldn't see as well. I went to an eye doctor and I'm like, it's been a few years since I had it. And he's like, your eyes are healthy and you can see fine.
Man, shut up.
And he said, you have good young eyes. And I said, did you see my age on the paper or are you judging me by my hoodie? And I left and I felt underserved.
Well, I felt underserved when I went to Costco to have an eye exam.
Empty can that
I had a drop in there. I had an eye exam by somebody that I will judge them for this.
You can.
They were wearing cargo shorts.
That counts. There's too many pockets. What does he have?
At Costco.
Full. If the man has full cargo pant pockets, then obviously there's a need.
I don't know if I want my ophthalmologist to be carrying his work-related cargo in his pockets.
I kind of do. I don't know why, but I'm gonna say I'm for it.
I felt like I did not get my needs addressed that day.
What were your needs?
I can fucking, I can't fucking see.
She's still blind.
Because I went to the doctor and he goes, you can see fine.
Liar.
And I went,
Maybe that's what happened to me recently.
Are you sure?
Like at nighttime, I'm like,
Like, are you sure? Because I feel like I can't see. He's like, yeah, you can see fine. And if we do anything, it's just going to make it worse. So just bye. And then he put his hands in his cargo shorts and walked away.
He should not touch his cargo shorts during an appointment.
So that was my experience at Costco.
I think that's an ethical boundary.
At the eye center. So let's get back to smell.
Oh
we
yeah,
spent a lot of time on eye.
I don't know why.
But we're actually
I don't know why.
We're actually talking about
well, I smell
what the nose knows.
To be fair, I smelled my eye burn. That's fine.
Oh my god, everything's connected.
Right.
So we've established smell and emotion are so closely linked.
Like it's a pasta dish.
But did you know that smell and emotion are stored as one memory? You cannot separate them.
That makes sense.
So there's this. So since we have fetal till 10, that smell is your main jam. That in this period, you're going to create the basis for smells that you will like and hate for the rest of your life.
There's no 7-year rollover like your taste buds. Is that a myth?
That's it.
I've looked up so many things recently that I've been told as a child, and most of them have been true. One of them being when it's clear outside, it's colder. That is true.
So I wanted to show you the olfactory bulb. It's right here. This is where it exists.
Oh, I know the word olfactory.
It's right.
Could you just pull it back like I had your vision? You were like adjusting.
No, I just didn't want you to get too close. Like
freak you out?
No, I don't know.
It's just too close.
So it's right here. It's like right above
the nose.
It's like in between the eyeballs at the top of the nose. So you have to be careful of this area because it's very easy to damage, apparently,
Mm.
and then it'll fuck up everything. Did you know, this was something I learned, that every person has a unique scent? It's like a fingerprint.
Is that related to pheromones? Because I read something about that.
There's a large genetic component to body odor.
Mm.
That's why you can sniff out your relatives.
Ew.
But you can.
Ew.
There's
Ew.
been
I never once thought I could sniff out.
study upon study where
How
individuals
many people are studying this first?
are identified by scent
How
alone.
many were related to Freud?
No, these are recent. Shit.
Like who's smelling their family members?
Well, no, you can tell.
What?
Oh my god, I just
I don't
lost my
smell
whole thing.
them.
Okay.
I
But it's
haven't-
subconscious.
So I've been told
It's subconscious.
I've been
Macy.
told in the past that because I've never like historically been a like perfume wearer, but I've been told before that my smell to a partner was attractive, and I was like, that's weird because to me it was, well, I don't wear perfume.
Well, or else you wouldn't be together.
For real.
If they think you stink, you're
Well,
not gonna
not
be together.
stink, but like there's like you said, like there's a
No, you have to be attractive to the scent.
there's something, yeah, that
Interestingly, hopefully my ex-husband never listens to this,
nobody does. It's
but
fine.
it's after we broke up, after like being together for 13 years, his smell changed to me.
No, you know what's it? I know someone who told me something similar that there was a medication change that they had that all of a sudden made their partner smell different, and it changed their
No,
entire sexual.
smell is a huge part of attraction, but we're often not aware of it. Because if it's good, it's good. You're not going to be aware of it.
That's so funny that, yeah. That's one of the things, like right now, like with my now husband, when I like lay next to him, one of my favorite things, and it's so dumb, or I feel dumb for it, is like I just want to put my head on his arm and smell.
Yeah, but that could change, and that'll change attraction.
But that's probably part of the like attraction is the smell. Like,
yeah. And it could be conscious or it could be unconscious. So
garage gritty smell.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
So emotions have a scent.
It's okay, it didn't have
love and also fear. So we've all heard the tales of you can smell fear. Yeah. It's actually research backed.
I believe that.
So smelled emotions can be contagious. So here's what this is like the part I was most fascinated by about this topic. So say you go to a location and you feel like edgy, like I feel a bad situation. It could be because somebody just left there that had experienced fear and you're smelling their fear.
I 100% believe that places, and I think this is because I'm not an energy person, and yet I will 100% say that I've been in a space that I can tell has had a conflict in it recently, and then I find out that there was like something. I'm like, ooh, yeah, I didn't like how that.
Well, here's the science behind that.
Right.
Somebody left 5 minutes ago that felt scared. They were exuding that totally and were smelling it.
It's a survival thing,
and it's contagious.
Not even contagious. It's we are biologically linked to be connected.
No, it's contagious in the way that we're smelling it, and then it makes us feel that emotion.
Right.
Yeah,
because we are communicating as a species that something's wrong.
Mm-hmm. Isn't that fucking interesting?
That's fucking interesting.
So.
That's fucking interesting.
In my opinion,
I like your opinions. Go ahead.
Smell and also our sense, so both, like what we're picking up from others and what we give off, is our superpower as humans.
I like it.
Now here's where I'm gonna get just for a second, a little conspiracy theory.
Can I pause?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think it's true because you said as humans, but I think with pets, so like with my cats, I never thought I'd be a cat person. However,
You have so many fucking cats.
I'm
You've
aware.
crossed the line of cat person.
One of the things
You're over the hedge.
that Nugget does that none of the other cats do. So she comes up and like she's learned how to. So like I give her a kiss, like I go, mwah. And so she started to do it, but she does it and she like hovers, and it's like she's smelling, and then she stops. But whenever I'm anxious or upset, she like comes to me. Like that's any other time, if I'm good, she's not there. So I feel like
Well, emotional support animals are a real thing.
right. And
Yeah.
and that's where I think the validity, like it's there because they can also sense, maybe perhaps by smell too,
Yeah.
that we are in a certain space.
I've seen so many like dogs that like can sense their owners are about to have a seizure and like alert them so they're able to like sit on the floor or call for help or whatever it is.
Well, yeah, and that's like the fact that that's even a thing is so cool.
So I'm just gonna get conspiracy
I'm
for
excited.
a
Let's
second.
do it.
Okay, let's just say,
I'm gonna say it
just for the sake of the convo,
for shits and giggles, as I
that
only
COVID
said
was
10 years ago.
created in a lab. Let's just say that.
Okay. Oh, that COVID. Okay.
So
Got it.
the people creating it would want to have it have a negative impact, obviously, unless it had it.
Right.
So what was one of the COVID symptoms?
No.
You lose your sense of smell.
Right.
So if sense of smell is critical for being aware of your surroundings and being able to function at a high level,
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't that be something? I mean, me, if I was a dastardly evil research scientist, I'd be like, let's take away their sense of smell.
You would be a dastardly.
I would.
You would be, yeah.
Yes.
I got it, and I think I only had a day, like it was just like a day where I'm like, I don't know if I can taste and smell as well, but it was kind of like when you have a cold.
Here's how it played out with me. I could smell everything just fine, except weirdly, Stella's poopy diapers.
That's great.
Which was fine. I know. I'm like, all right, backfired, motherfuckers.
That's a fucking miracle.
I'm fine with it. Yeah, I'm like, I'll change her. Give her over.
Vaccine what? Give me another. Yeah, no, that made yeah.
I want to share another piece of interesting research.
They should have made it smell like cut grass and I don't know.
Rubber. Burnt
jock
rubber.
straps. I don't know.
Ew. Nobody wants to smell
actually
jock
wears
straps.
jock straps. I don't even know what
Athletes with
that is.
jock.
What is a jock strap?
It holds your, if you have penile junk, it like keeps them all up so they're like tied to the body.
I never dated.
Because you don't want them swinging out there
sportsman.
because you can get them like
Loose?
kicked. You don't want them loose, so it, like sucks them up.
So it's like a thong for men.
Well, in the back,
Does
it's
it
a
go up
thong.
the butt?
In the back, it
is.
It is, but
it's a man thong.
But the most important part is in the front where
Same.
it cradles
Same.
your
That's
junk
what a thong does.
and protects
That's
it.
what a thong does.
It doesn't cradle.
I mean, depending on the thong.
I've never experienced any cradling.
I mean, we don't have much to cradle, but
But I've never
if
felt
we
a sense
did,
of safety.
I never feel a sense of safety down there. What?
I like big fucking underwear, to be
You
honest.
like? I like booty boy
big
shorts. Booty shorts,
fucking
boy shorts,
underwear, like
boxer brief.
that.
Style.
If my
Agreed.
outerwear disintegrated, that I'd be fine.
I could walk around; these could be shorts.
Exactly.
I've seen girls wear less. I've seen 12-year-olds at the fucking.
That's where I'm at. I'm like, it's underwear or it's necessary wear.
I've heard that like the whale tail is desirable. I'm like, but what if the whale eats the fucking tail? Then what?
Then we're fucked.
Then we're fucked.
You're gonna like this research though.
Good.
Okay, going back to love and smells.
Great.
certain
I just got
scents
married, so
make us more attractive to potential partners. So the aroma of grapefruit has been scientifically proven
okay.
to make people appear younger.
I have a thing with this.
But
Grapefruit's the one thing that if you're on an antidepressant, it makes the antidepressant less effective.
well, I'm not saying you have to do it.
Well, I'm just saying maybe people with depression or on antidepressants need to be cautious about eating grapefruit.
No, it's not eating it, it's wearing the scent.
Well, but you smell like grapefruit. Grapefruit's a potent citrus smell.
But if you wear a scent of grapefruit,
who does that? Who looks for grapefruit smell?
Then
nobody does.
You will be perceived, this is research backed, as younger. And if you wear a spicy and floral scent, you will be perceived as 4 pounds slimmer. Isn't that interesting?
I smell like myself. I think I have a floral thing on. It's like a mixture.
But it has to be spicy too.
Spicy.
Some spice.
What's spicy mean?
Like some spice, you know. Some spice.
I'm new to this world.
Just a little spice.
I don't know.
I don't know, a little frankincense.
Frankincense.
Maybe a little myrrh
Ooh.
or myrrh. I don't know. I'm a Jew. I'm not into the
frankincense and myrrh.
It's some kind of, I think it's evolved in the nativity situation.
Christian shit.
So those are just 2 researches that I pointed out.
Christian shit. You said Catholic something.
I forget. You know what? Hey, our tribe's our tribe. You love us or you don't. So that's it. Smell is our superpower. You can actually,
if it brings memory.
So they said if you want to enhance your superpower, what you need to do is as you're consciously going through your day,
gummy bears,
consciously note scents, and it will enhance your superpower.
It made me think of gummy bears.
It's definitely floral.
Which would be like a childhood thing would be eating gummy
fruity,
bears.
Right?
But like just set your nose there and smell.
But I'm bad at like when I go wine tasting, they're like, oh, it's got
the
odor of chocolate and walnut. And I'm like, I don't have any of that.
You need to just sit with it, let it sit.
It's fruity and floral.
What do you feel?
I feel a little buzzed.
Me too. Cheers!
Cheers! Happy 200!
All right, my topic. I'm a deeply DDT
leader. Anytime people are killed, I gotta rate it pretty high. So I'm gonna do an 8.
Like shame and guilt factor if you don't, right? So you say 8?
Yeah. Well, people are, you know,
murdered.
We gotta value human life and whatnot.
I would say that mine.
And also, I feel like it was a missed case. Like people could have intervened early.
Well,
like why calling them Igor and shit?
160 to 180 people not classified because they might be sex workers.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say a 4. Only because
you weren't personally like impacted.
I wanted to be more impacted.
He lived here though.
No, but like I didn't grow up here. Not my era, not my time. I didn't sleep in truck beds. I don't know.
I did. Like I felt like I over-identified.
I mean, I get like I'm gonna put I'm gonna if it's like how disturbed are you for your friend? 9.5. I've heard of you sleeping under axes. So I'm genuinely.
No, I think I texted you the next day. I'm like, so this is my night.
No. You texted me that night.
While I was there?
While you were there.
Thank God I had cell service.
Because we had a rule at the time that you would let me know.
This was 2015, my year of going fucking crazy.
Right. You were like, hey, by the way, and I'm pretty sure you sent me a picture of the axe above the bed.
If you could find that picture.
I have a few phones in at this point, but yes, I hope I.
That was when I left the room for a minute, and I was like, "What the fuck am I doing?"
Right, you sent me a picture, and there was an axe over this.
No, we had 2. There was a cross right above the bed,
and you were like, "Just in case."
This is in the woods, also.
Right in the middle of nowhere. And you're like, "Just in case," and I responded back, "Why are you still there? Like, what the fuck? Like, legitimately an axe in the middle of nowhere with somebody you've never met before."
Also, where I felt hungry, like I kind of had felt I was going to get dinner out of the situation, but we're in the middle of nowhere. There was no dinner.
He didn't feed you because you had dinner.
He did feed me, but here's what he did. He pulled out of his refrigerator, wrapped in foil, a fucking dead bird like full dead bird. Like that
And
he
then
had shot.
Hunters like have their like, here's my veal.
He had shot that day, and it's like, well, I have this.
What was it?
It was some
That
fucking
was
dead
all he
bird.
had. He didn't have like
There's no side dish. There's no couscous.
There's no like frozen pot pie.
There was a fucking full dead bird, like recently killed,
No bean and cheese frozen
that he
potatoes.
prepared for the meal.
The fact that you prepared
2015.
something for a meal in 2015, well before
2015.
COVID.
2015.
This was choice. Did he have toilet paper?
He did.
He was prepared.
He
then.
did.
No.
He worked for the forest or something. I don't know.
As they do with fucking axes above their bed. Nobody should do that. That's threatening towards women, just so you know. If you're like, gee, should I do that? No. The wrong could knock that down. It's dangerous. You don't know. You don't know what.
My alarm bells are broken.
Did they use a stud finder? I'd be like, did you use a stud finder when you put that axe on the wall? Because if you didn't, I can't. Sorry.
Well, I realized it when I was already too into the situation.
Like,
you know what I mean?
At that time.
Yeah.
It's too late. You're already.
It was
dead.
too late. I was already in.
Yeah. It was only shortly after that you had the green matcha tea all over yourself on your white.
Was that same year?
It was the same year. You had
2015.
You had a
God
year.
damn it.
You had a year.
That was the same year?
It was the same year.
Wow. Yeah, that was
That's like my reference of like
killed.
when I was like when I really felt like I had it there for you. Year was definitely that year because that was the year that you were like, hey, I might need help. That was like, sounds like it. Oh, you're under the desk? I'll be there.
It was rough. Well, it's because I went through a bad breakup in 2014. So 2015 was my year of like, you boomerang.
2014 was
I boomerang too hard.
Was my like, are you okay? And then 2015 was the like, she ain't okay. Like, I need to keep tabs. Where's your tracker?
No, I was like, I'm gonna just do whatever.
We had the like.
That was my whole thing.
She didn't respond to me in 15 minutes. I'm a little worried. Now I don't hear from you until the podcast. I'm okay because I know you're safe.
No, but I would check in if I'm like in a potential.
No, absolutely.
I
you
would
have to if you're in a potential.
I just haven't been in any.
That's what that's called. If you're in a potential, that means there's an axe above the bed. You're in the middle of fucking nowhere, and he made a fucking peacock for dinner.
I don't even know what kind of bird it was. It could have been a peacock.
I'm saying that it's probably,
it was about this size.
It's probably quail. You know the shit that runs across the road.
It was not a satisfying meal. I will also say that.
You ate it?
Yeah, I was fucking hungry.
Fucking
hungry. I don't know what it was.
It was a car.
Probably fucking pitch.
You probably worked in the forestry service. You probably just lived in the forestry as a service.
All right. Until next
time. Red flags, they're not probably like true, but they are like, hey, like I don't know.
Sometimes stereotypes are based on some reality.
I mean, somebody experienced it. Do you want to be that person?
Yeah, that's the thing about stereotypes. Like sometimes you'll hit on like, okay, that's exactly that.
Until next time, that thread of truth could be you.
And stop and smell the roses. That was so cheesy. Hit on like, okay, that's exactly that.
Until next time, that thread of truth could be you.
And stop and smell the roses. That was so cheesy.